The Department of Homeland Security's annual assessment included a warning about a heightened security threat around October 7th and the November election. Joining me now is Tony Scianna, CEO of Mosaic and a global security expert, to discuss these implications. Tony Scianna, thank you so much for joining.
Thank you.
Tony, DHS reports that the presidential election, as well as the conflicts in the Middle East, are raising threat levels in the United States. How might this heightened threat impact Jewish communities during this election cycle and also at the anniversary of October 7th?
Yes, I mean, obviously with recent events, it could very much affect the time period around the elections, especially for those groups in particular. Attack from Iran is obviously of great consequence, not only for the region, not only for us, but for the entire world. My main concern really during this time period is something that's not often spoken about, and that is Hezbollah cells that are actually present and, aiding them with the shooting down of missiles that were shot from Iran, the obvious support that's without question. Will that spill over into other areas is really the main concern. Right now, it's regional. It's a tit for tat, Iran and Israel. The Monday, the night before, of course, Israel launched a ground invasion into southern Lebanon. The night before that, they shot missiles into Yemen, targeting the Houthis. Now, the regional war seems to be escalating. Some of the missiles apparently fell into Jordan. Was the Jordan, potentially partake in shooting down the missiles? We don't know. But with that escalation, that tit for tat, will it spill over? Again, those groups, those cells in America, will they remain dormant or will they become active?
And how big of a concern is the protection of our critical infrastructure, when it comes from the perspective of cyber attacks, particularly from these countries like China and Russia in this tense global climate?
Yeah. We'll have to closely observe what happens with Iran and Israel and which of the other countries in that region become involved. How does this escalate? Of course, the Republicans want a stronger response from Israel, a strong response rather, whether Democrats want to have a proportional response and to rather observe. Let's see what happens, how this escalates, because the more it escalates, the more we have potential of interference in the U.S., whether that be cyber attack from Iran's proxies or Iran's alliances, or if that's direct from Hezbollah. I think this is a time in the world where we really need to closely observe what's going on, because the potential for disaster is large.